Have you ever felt more tired and unsettled after visiting someone than you did before you left? At this age, the simple act of going visiting may not be as harmless as it once seemed. It may even be quietly wearing you down in ways you don't see, at least not right away. This video is for people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who've been told they need to get out more, or who feel obligated to keep making rounds among friends and family, even when they don't really want to. If you've ever felt guilty for not visiting someone, it might be your body and mind telling you the truth. You've lived long enough to know that not every invitation is a gift, and not every outing is good for you. In fact, as we get older, one of the hardest lessons to learn is that our energy, our time, our presence isn't unlimited anymore. It must be guarded, preserved, and given with care. So today, we're going to talk about something that many seniors quietly feel but rarely say out loud. While visiting others too often or too freely might be doing more harm than good, more importantly, recognizing this can actually bring you more peace, better health, and deeper self-respect. Let's go over 5 reasons why seniors like you must be more cautious about visiting others and why staying put more often than not might be the kindest thing you can do for them and for yourself. Reason 1. The energy drain. As we age, energy stops being something we can count on. It becomes something we have to conserve, like water in a desert. But visiting people, even people we love, often demand more energy than we expect. There's the preparation, the travel, the conversation, the effort to be cheerful or presentable, and then the long ride home or the quiet letdown afterward. It's rarely just a simple drop-in anymore. Most seniors don't talk about how drained they feel after social visits. Some even feel embarrassed by it, as if they're being antisocial or weak. But the truth is, our nervous system simply doesn't recover as quickly as it once did. What used to be a fun afternoon can now take an entire day or more to bounce back from. And during that time, our immune system is taxed, our sleep is disrupted, and our mood dips without warning. There's also an invisible pressure in these visits to perform. Even when the people we visit don't ask much of us, we still try to be on. We smile more than we feel like smiling. We hold back the aches and worries we wish we could talk about, and we listen more than we speak, especially if the people we're visiting are younger. That quiet strain builds up over time, leaving us more depleted than we realize. Take Margaret, 72. She used to visit her daughter and grandkids twice a week, but after every visit, she noticed her knees ached more. She slept poorly. Her digestion would get off, and she couldn't figure out why, until her doctor told her that it wasn't just physical stress, it was emotional overexertion too. That's when she cut back to once every 2 weeks, and her energy returned. Her family noticed the difference too. She was more present, more patient, more herself. The older we get, the more we have to see energy like currency. You don't spend all your money on one lunch. You budget it wisely. And sometimes the best investment is staying home, letting your body rest, and only going where your spirit truly feels safe. Reason 2. The emotional expectations. For many older adults, visiting others isn't just a physical task, it becomes an emotional test. Expectations come layered in every smile, every comment, every unspoken glance. When you step into someone else's space, especially family, you're not just a guest. You're often seen as someone who should be this way or that. You should be cheerful. You should stay longer. You should not talk about health or issues you're dealing with. It doesn't take long before these visits stop feeling warm and start feeling like an audition. That emotional toll is harder to measure than fatigue, but it cuts deeper. You begin to second-guess your words. You wonder if you said too much. You notice the silence after your stories, or worse, the way someone quickly changes the topic. Then you start wondering whether they really wanted you there in the first place. That wondering can linger for days, especially when your life has slowed down and theirs hasn't. Older people often go visiting out of habit or guilt because that's what they used to do. But in doing so, they forget that emotional environments have changed. Younger people might not understand how fragile peace becomes in older age. They might make light jokes that sting, or talk about things we can't relate to anymore. Or they simply stay on their phones the whole time while you sit there wondering why you came. Walter, 78, visited his nephew's home every Sunday for months. One day during dinner, the nephew's wife turned to him and said, "You know, you don't have to come every week." She meant it kindly, but it broke something in Walter. He stopped visiting altogether, not out of anger, but because he realized he was showing up more for them than they were for him, and that he didn't need to do that anymore. When we visit out of duty rather than joy, resentment quietly follows. In old age, the last thing we need is another source of silent heartache. Protecting our emotional space doesn't make us selfish. It makes us wise. If being around someone starts making you feel less like yourself, it's not your job to fix that. Dynamic, it's your job to stop stepping into it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Reason 3, the health risk factor. As we age, even something as simple as a short visit can carry hidden dangers for our health. Our immune systems naturally weaken, and crowded homes, especially those with children or people going in and out all day, become silent battlegrounds of germs, viruses, and seasonal bugs. What's a mild cough to a grandchild can turn into a week-long struggle for a 75-year-old, and many seniors don't bounce back as easily as they used to. What makes it worse is that older adults often downplay how they feel until it's too late. Visits might look harmless, but think about the exposure. Shared food, hugs, door handles, even shared restrooms. In a single hour, you've touched dozens of surfaces, and if you're staying long, fatigue kicks in. Your body works harder just to stay alert and polite. Add in the pressure to eat what's served, stay up later than usual, or sit through noisy conversations, and it becomes more than just a friendly drop-in. It becomes physical strain. Edith, 84, loved seeing her daughter's family, but after each visit, she'd feel drained for days. One weekend, she caught a stomach virus that the toddler had brought home from preschool. Edith ended up in the ER for dehydration. That's when she and her daughter agreed, no more visits when anyone's even slightly unwell. It was a hard boundary, but a wise one. Older bodies need stable routines and predictable environments to stay strong. Unexpected visits often mean skipped medications, irregular meals, disrupted sleep, and that's before you count in the stress. One poor night's rest after a visit can raise blood pressure, spike blood sugar, and stir up old aches. It's not the visit itself. It's everything the visit stirs up. So, when you think about visiting others in old age, ask yourself, will this bring me health? Or will it chip away at the strength I've worked so hard to keep? Reason 4, the unspoken financial pressure. Not all visits are free, even when no one says a word about money. Older adults often feel an invisible pressure to bring gifts, offer help, or cover small expenses during visits, especially when seeing children or younger relatives. And it's not because anyone asked. It's because we want to show love, avoid being a burden, or contribute in some way. But these small actions quietly add up. You might pick up snacks for the grandkids, pay for dinner out, or offer to chip in on gas. Maybe you slip a little cash to someone in need, or grab groceries on the way. None of it feel like much in the moment, but for someone living on a fixed income or relying on retirement savings, that steady leak becomes a real problem. Paul, 78, used to visit his niece's family every other weekend. He'd always bring pastries, sometimes toys, and occasionally helped with bills when he saw them struggling. Over time, he noticed his savings thinning faster than he expected. When he finally talked to his financial planner, they showed him that over 2 years, his small gestures had cost him more than $3,000. Paul wasn't trying to buy love, but he was spending himself into a place of quiet worry. Here's the psychological trap. Older adults often tie their self-worth to their usefulness. So when we visit, we look for ways to be useful, financially, emotionally, physically, and in doing so, we sometimes stretch ourselves far beyond what's safe or sustainable. Even if no one expects anything from you, your own sense of pride or duty might trick you into doing too much. That's why visiting, especially without boundaries, can create a pattern where love is quietly tangled up with cost. And when money runs low, so does your peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Reason 5, the risk of losing your own rhythm. As we grow older, the pace and flow of our daily life become more than just habit. They become a form of balance, a personal rhythm that helps us feel grounded, clear-headed, and in control. But when you start visiting others too often, whether it's family, old friends, or neighbors, you begin to live by someone else's rhythm instead of your own. It's not just about schedules or routines. It's about losing touch with your own tempo. Maybe you like your mornings quiet, your meals at certain times, your rest in the afternoon. But when you're in someone else's home, you're adjusting. You're shifting meal times, sitting longer than your body prefers, talking when you'd rather rest, or skipping your evening walk because the visit ran late. Now, this might sound minor at first. After all, what's a little flexibility, right? But when this happens often, your inner rhythm gets out of sync. And for older adults, that loss of rhythm can quietly impact digestion, sleep, blood pressure, even mood. There's also a deeper layer to this. Our rhythm is not just physical, it's psychological. It's the feeling of having control over your time, your choices, your energy, and when that gets disrupted repeatedly by social obligations, even well-meaning ones, it can lead to a subtle kind of restlessness, a sense that you're losing touch with yourself while constantly adapting to others. Eugene, 76, shared how he used to visit his friend's house every Sunday afternoon. They'd watch football, chat, and eat. At first it was fun, but over time, Eugene noticed he stopped reading his Sunday paper, skipped his usual walk, and even missed his quiet coffee on the porch. His mind felt scattered. It wasn't the visit that was the problem. It was that he no longer felt like Sunday belonged to him. As we age, peace and stability don't come from big events. They come from small rituals we create for ourselves. And if we give up those rituals too easily for social visits, we may find ourselves feeling unsettled without understanding why. That's why protecting your own rhythm isn't selfish. It's survival. It's your right to shape your day in a way that nourishes your body, your mind, and your spirit. And sometimes that means saying no to visits that would throw off your balance. Final thoughts. Getting older teaches you that peace doesn't come from being everywhere, knowing everything, or pleasing everyone. It comes from being selective about where you go, who you spend time with, and what you allow into your world. Saying no to frequent visits doesn't mean you're shutting people out. It means you're choosing presence over performance, depth over obligation. You've earned the right to rest when you want to rest, to think when you want to think, and to share your time only when your heart says yes. If you're someone who's felt drained after visiting others, or if you've come home more tired than when you left, you're not alone. Many older adults carry this quiet fatigue, and it often comes not from the visit itself, but from the inner pressure to show up, stay long, smile wide, and be what others expect. But now is the time to listen to your own needs, to build a life that supports your health, honors your rhythm, and gives you the quiet joy of being fully yourself, even if that means saying no more often than yes. So here's a question for you. Have you ever felt like visiting others left you feeling more empty than full? Leave a comment below and tell us what you've learned about protecting your energy. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.